I wanted to talk about the Lionsgate portal and this abundance magnetism. I have been working with my birth chart. I've been looking at my astrology points, spiral points, chakras, energy, my words, all these things. And I was like, what else is coming? Because we look at sometimes a full moon and the new moon. And years ago, this one lady who talked about how to use the full moon and new moon in your business was really interesting to me. And I was like, oh, that's a thing? So she said, new moon energy is when you want to rest. It's when you're quiet. It's when you're contemplating. It's when you're studying. It's this time of pulling in because you don't really see the new moon, right? It's black. It's the same color as the sky. And then the full moon is the action moon. So we got a full moon coming up. And this means get in there, get started, make things work and happen. This is when you launch certain aspects of your business because the energy is behind it. What else is coming up? Oh, yeah, the Lionsgate portal. And two of my yoga teachers, Faith Hunter and Sienna Sherman, they both talk a lot about astrology as it's connected to yoga and your body and mindfulness and things like that. Because sometimes we want to discount that there is no astrological connection to our bodies or to our world. Is that true? Because I don't know. Is it? A lot of cultures and religions around the world, they either embrace it and use it, or they're maybe not. It can be confusing for sure. The Lionsgate portal is all about this energy of Leo the lion. It's the astrological sign of Leo the lion. So that's now. And the idea of you coming in with the roar, you're coming in with majesty and an energy that is proud as well as strong. And I don't want to say forceful, but it has a way of taking up space. And it happens on 8/8 because August is the eighth month in this calendar that we use. And eight is this astrological, sometimes even spiritual number that means infinity. It peaks, the gate, as they say, the portal is opening now, and it's strongest really on August 8th. We got to open up this gate so we can be ready to magnetize the things that we want and get back into the idea of how do we want our businesses to look? How do we want our lives to look? And what do we want to call in? That's why I decided to do this today. It's all of these aligning astrological aspects. So it's the sun in Leo because Leo the lion this month. Sirius is the spiritual sun, and then the earth. These three kind of constellations or planets or components in our atmosphere, in our space, they line up and they make this connection. And then it's all about downloads are coming. Things that you've been thinking about, and you maybe have a little confusion or fog or discomfort, all of that kind of is supposed to go away. And it's about stepping into your next space of leveling up, of stepping up, of I would like to say spiraling upward. And then the idea of magnetism is more than just saying, I'm going to manifest it. Magnetism is, to me, it's more of a term that's scientific that people understand, and you're bringing it to you. I'm going to pull that into my life. That's the idea of being in alignment or frequency or vibration for all this to happen. So if these astrological elements in the sky are lining up, the sun in Leo, Sirius, the spiritual sun, which is the constellation, and then the earth, if they're all lining up, then boom, why can't we line up? Why can't we be this energetic match as well? Because out there, it's quantum physics where they say things have already happened. Your past, your present, and your future are already, they're continually happening at the same time. We can think about you as a writer, and books are being written. The book is already written. Even if I haven't read it yet, it's still written. Even if somebody hasn't found it yet, it's still written. Our lives are that. And as we line ourselves up with the idea of knowing that what we already want to have happen is going to happen, then the story has been written. Everything that we had visioned for ourselves, that we spoke for ourselves in our lives, it's already there. We just have to be ready to receive it. We have to be ready for that download to happen. We have to be ready for the clarity. We have to be ready for the upgrades. And so that is the Lionsgate portal.
Hmm.
I just wanted you to kind of get that in your head. I want it to be a little clear of what it is. So this 888, that's the main thing you have to remember. The alignment of the sun in Leo, because when we think of astrology, we all have a sun sign. So if you're born during this time, your sun sign would be in Leo. Your moon could be anything else, depending on where you were born, when you were born, the date, and then the time. And that will give you your moon as well as your rising. Sirius is almost like the rising, at least that's the way I look at it. And then the earth is like your moon. All those things are set up, creating this portal. We're going to talk a little bit about that and your astrology. So you can do this if you want, because it could be very interesting. I use ChatGPT to really go deep into me learning how to use my whole life path. I was trying to make a video today. I made it already, but I was trying to upload it to YouTube. And for whatever reason, it kept saying, you have to fix the errors before you can upload it. And I was like, what are the errors? Oh my gosh. So that spent probably an hour messing around with that. And then it just didn't happen. I put a question in this one community I'm in, and hopefully somebody can help me. And I just had to step away. But I talk about the story of how I started to really research my birth. What I did was put in all my information, my sun, my moon, all about myself. And then I asked so many questions about myself. I said, what about this? And what about that? And what about the other things? And after I gotten so much feedback and information related to my son's side, and studied that for a while and read all these books and listened to all these podcasts and did a bunch of journaling, free writing, as well as scripting and creating my rituals. Okay, now this thing called Alliance Portal's coming. What do I do now? You know how you're like, okay, I got that, but now what's next? It's gonna be something else. And of course there was. I said to myself, let's see what the Lionsgate is. I'm going to show you, I'm trying to open it up. I'm going to show you what I did by putting in my birth information and what ChatGPT gave me, which I think would be really cool for you if you are interested in doing this. This is your big three plus Lionsgate energy. So my sun is in Virgo, and that means I'm an earth sign, I'm mutable. And my moon is in Aquarius, which means I'm an air sign. So I can be up into my head. And then my rising sign is Taurus, which is a bull. And I come back down to earth again. What does this mean for Lionsgate? And so for me, it's because again, I'm still learning lots about myself. It's really interesting to see if this stuff seems to be true. It says, while Lionsgate energy is bold and fiery, because it's Leo, your Virgo sun likes structure, details, and practical action. Of course I do. That's why I like to have outlines. I like to have checklists. I like to have slides. I like to have notes that I like to have a planner. So yeah, that's me. It says amplifier effect. This portal can supercharge your ability to plan and organize the vision you've been dreaming about. It's like taking Leo's big picture creativity and Virgoing it into real tangible form. But it says watch for overanalyzing instead of trusting intuitive nudges. Leo energy asks you to shine without perfection. And that's why I was like, Dawn, if you don't step away from this YouTube, It's about to drive me crazy. I was getting mad. Why isn't this working? I have put some YouTubes up before. Okay, breathe. Just let it go. I have to know that it's going to be amplified. This portal will supercharge my ability to plan and organize a vision. The vision is for me to continue to post things on YouTube, right? That's a part of my vision, and to let my message be seen by the world. But I had to step back because there's always a plus side and the minus side, the polar opposites or the shadow side of things. And I could have got stuck in there, and nobody wants to do that. If I get stuck, I'm just going to get more frustrated and get nothing done. So then I have my moon in Aquarius, which is again this air side. Aquarius energy is innovative and it's this future oriented self. This is my identity. This is me learning more about myself. Okay, I'm innovative. I can come up with some cool things. The Lion's Gate can open my higher mind intuitive downloads. So if I'm quiet, still take a bath, release, move. Oh, there's an answer. So again, that's why I had to step away from the YouTube and look at it with fresh eyes because it's going to be the download, the information is going to come. It says, especially for ideas related to community, tech, humanitarian projects, or unconventional paths. The amplifier would mean that emotional breakthroughs about freedom, authenticity, and my role as a visionary leader. Because I'll get frustrated. I'm doing all this stuff and nobody's there. I'll doom my own self. And I'm like, just be patient. People watch, they don't always comment. They're there. Trust the process. I have to watch out for feeling detached or resisting vulnerability. And that is true because people think that I share a lot. I'm like, y'all don't really know me. You really don't. I give you what I want you to know about me. There's so many other things that I don't say. I share about the same things over and over, and people be like, oh, I know you. No, you don't. I can be resistant. It says, this is a portal to allow more heart-led energy. Leo's about loving. Then last, my rising is Taurus. This is my earth signs. Both of my signs have me planted on the ground and I dig my heels in. My ascendant shapes how I experience life. Taurus rising values beauty, stability, sensuality. I love beautiful smells. I love my incense and my candles and Palo Santo. My daughter was home and I was burning Palo Santo. She was like, I can't stand that smell. And I was like, really? Wow. But though, like, that is sensual to me. I like that I could feel it through my senses. I like to see beautiful flowers and sunsets, and I like warm weather and cool water and things like that. So that's my senses, my sensuality side. And it can also be sensual when it comes to in a physical space with another person. The amplifier is Leo's gate could boost my magnetism, making it easier to attract abundance and luxury. That's the theme that I'm calling in. But I have to watch out for stubbornness. Uh-oh, did you hear me being stubborn already? Or fear of change. This portal is about expansion. Try to lean into flexibility without losing your sense of grounding. It doesn't have to match like perfectly or verbatim, but it could just be another insight. And that's the way I look at it. Like, how can I have better connections with people? How can I be more authentic? How can I walk in the steps in which I should be walking? Because imagine going down a path for so many years and it doesn't lead to the ending that you wanted. I call it the soul blueprint. If you had the right soul blueprint, you had the structure in which to build the boat, the business, the house, all the things, it could save time. How does this support us in Club Awaken? It's going to supercharge manifestation and identify shifts. It is perfect for this spiral work, which we'll talk more later. It aligns with Leo energy of courage, visibility, luxury, and heart-led expression. For me, luxury is not necessarily having to show a stack of money, bands, wads of money, or red bottom shoes, or vacations and yacht trips and stuff like that, but in a way that you feel you're worth the time, energy, and money spent. To me, that's luxury. Because some people, we can say, for example, airlines, some people at all costs will only fly Delta, regardless. And they might have three connections to get to a place where maybe Spirit was flying direct. And they're like, I am not flying on Spirit because I want to fly Delta. To them, that's luxury, and they're going to stick with that. Where another person is, I just want to get to my destination. And once I get there, that's luxury. So they rather spend $100 instead of $500 on their airfare, and then they can spend more money on the cruise or the hotel or the shopping or the meals out or whatever. Luxury is what you decide it to be, not what others. And of course, this heart-led expression is the authenticity that we just talked about. It's that courage. A chance to lock in a higher frequency. Abraham Hicks, through Esther Hicks, talks about this all the time. Everything is always working out for me, and vibrating at a higher frequency and being in alignment, being an energetic match is what she says. And I think of science. I think of physics, chemistry, biology. I think of all the sciences, including math, really, to me, are the other side of the spiritual or the unknown side of astrology coin. They go together because we understand frequency. We wouldn't be on the internet right now. We wouldn't have AI. We wouldn't have video phones. We wouldn't have the speed trains that they they travel on top of that like magnetic field, and it doesn't even have that much friction and bouncing, and people get less sick because it's on this almost like cloud of unknown things. All of that is there. And if we look at our material world, to me anyway, if we're looking at our material world, it's showing you the reflection of the spiritual world. It's there too. If we lock in this higher frequency and we let go of, I can't, I'm not good at it, and I'm not going to win. If we let that all go and believe that there's something higher, better, bigger for us, then we are spiraling upwards. We can get to this goal of being awakened. And of course, the themes again are the eight. So the power of eight, eight equals infinity, abundance, and karmic alignment. The idea of karma, which is mistaught, and I didn't learn it until I was well into my yoga journey, but karma is about these things called samskaras, and samskaras are ruts, and then you have, I think the other word is kleshas, which would be cosmic smudges or dust on your spirit. And every time we do something that causes harm to another person, if it's a lie or more, we create a rut that we get stuck in, and then we put dirt or dust on our spirit, our soul. And every time we get a chance to redo this, every time you're reborn, you get another chance to clean your spirit, your soul. And then one day you'll be so clean that you don't have to be reborn again, and you can move on to nirvana. But if we switch it to you get only one life, this is when you have to make amends. We think of the 12 steps in the addiction practices of recovery. You have to make amends. You have to say, I'm sorry. You need to do your best to let people know that you're different, you're better, you have renewed yourself. That karmic alignment is all about removing some of the past grievances. We might have to forgive ourselves. We might have to forgive other people. Maybe Our parents didn't do the things that we expected them to do, and we have to forgive them for that. Maybe we've made some mistakes or errors in our lives, and we're looking like, well, man, I'm 50, 60, 70 years in. We can still say, I forgive myself. I did my best. I'm sorry. And create more of a cleaner, energetic, or karmic field so we can get into alignment. All of the power of eight is that. And then the solar plexus goes with this idea of Leo the lion, who has courage, who has strength, who has power. Your solar plexus is your internal sun, it's in your abdomen. And we think of when people cower themselves, they cross their arms over their belly and they round their shoulders forward and they make themselves small. But if you're proud, you stand up tall and your shoulders are back and your solar plexus or your abdomen is uncovered. And then your heart chakra, so both of these are chakra energy centers. Your heart is about love, acceptance. It's about forgiveness, it's about peace, it's about healing. It's all those things. So when those are together and they're activated together, it's also a part of this portal being open. And then some journaling prompts. What bold desires, because remember, Leo is bold, walking out there with think of Mufasa. What bold desire have I been holding back? That's a big one. And then where do I need to be seen, loved, or more celebrated? Again, those are some big questions, but this is the time to really shed off the fear and the playing small and the imposter syndrome. No, we got to let all that go. Rituals, sunbathing. Let's get in this August before we don't have sun anymore in the Cleveland area. Fire candle rituals. There's so many things that you can do with candles. You can have lots of candles. It can smell good. You can use them as a way to burn things. So for example, you can write a letter of forgiveness or release and then burn it. Put the paper in the fire of the candle and then let it burn. You can write eight intentions because again, eight is infinity, abundance, and karmic alignment. Visualize your living in yourself living in divine overflow. Now, this is a new concept for me, the idea of overflow. As I was doing my soul blueprint and reading new books, I came across a book, and this woman talked about more than enough and overflow when it comes to money. And I was like, oh, whoa. That's not something that we hear a lot because when people say, I just want to make enough money to, she was like, absolutely not. I want to be wealthy and I want to have overflow. I want to have more than enough money. And she gave an example in her book during COVID. She was ill and she was having some issue. And she was like, I'm by myself. I can't even drive to an emergency room. She looked up, which I found out that the other name of it, but she looked up a visiting doctor and they call it a concierge doctor. She was able, because she had overflow of money, to hire this doctor to come to her house and take care of her and check on her every single day for a week until she was better. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's overflow. Because we think of insurance. Oh, I just need to have medical insurance. No, I need more. Visualizing yourself having divine overflow to me is a new concept. And if visualization isn't really easy for you, write it out And so scripting is writing yourself the idea of you already being there. You script out what would it feel like with all your senses. So what do you smell? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you taste? What's touching you in that divine overflow? You can do it over and over. That would be the visualization of yourself living in divine overflow. And then last, the energy reset through breath work and a cold shower. Oh my gosh, I love a cold shower, but not a full cold shower. The cold shower, I think I did an Instagram on this. What I do a part in my 12 daily rituals, in the shower, I pray and I scrub myself down. And that's a part of the release. As I am rinsing myself off, I slowly turn the faucet from hot or warm, then from warm to cool, and then cool to cold. There is a lot of evidence scientifically that cold plunges, cold baths, even like the cryotherapy, all these cold things help the nervous system reset itself. It helps the digestive system. It helps your heart. It helps your muscles, your joints, so many things by resetting your energy for free because you're going to take a shower anyway. Turn it to cold. When I first talked about this in my yoga studio, one of the practitioners, he jumped on it and he takes a 3 minute cold shower. I do between 30 and 90 seconds, depending. But just try it and see what happens. Let the water shower your face, the back of your neck, under your arms, and see what happens after you get out. It is this Luxe magnetism boost during this time, and I will be starting mine as well. So the whole idea starts on August 8th. The themes are abundance, visibility, and spiritual upgrade, which we already know because we talked about that. The overview is the Lionsgate portal amplifies intentions around wealth, confidence, and spiritual alignment. Use this energy to manifest your next level Luxe identity. Here are some of the rituals. You do one or all of them. So the checklist: clean your space, sage, incense, or essential oils. Sage is this idea of almost a whisk, broom, and dustpan. When you sage, you're supposed to go into the corners of your room and then you fan out this stuck energy. You take the sage and you go up and down the corners where the two walls come together. You open your window and then you fan out the energy. It's collecting this dead energy, this stale energy, and pushing it out, just like a whisk broom. Incense to me is connected to prayer. I always think about the Catholic churches when they have the little incense ball and the altar boys or one of the
Mhm.
priests when they're walking up the aisle, they're swinging that little incense ball and they're praying or they're singing or chanting or something. And I've heard that incense is used to elevate your prayers to God. And essential oils can also be added to incense, obviously. You can put them in a diffuser, and different incense can be connected to different chakras. It can be mood boosting or helping you sleep or having clarity, things like that. You can clean your space with those. Light a gold or yellow candle because the portal is connected to that color. So your solar plexus, the color is yellow. And meditate on heart and solar plex chakras. 8 intentions, because remember 8, and it's all about infinity. Read intentions out loud with confidence. You write them down, you can read them, or you can write them down, read them, and record yourself, and then have it play over and over on a loop. Visualize your future self living in abundance. So we just talked about overflow. Place crystals, citrine and pyrite, on your journal. So citrine is a yellow, clearish yellow stone. It's an amplifier. And then close with gratitude and affirmations. So every day, I have these alerts that I also created with ChatGPT's help, and they're connected to my calendars, my Google and my Apple Calendar. And in the morning, I have a Lux frequency focus, and it gives me today's affirmation as well as a Lux vibe tip. And then every night, I have a Lux reflection. It gives me another affirmation, which is always the same. Gratitude multiplies my blessing. And the reflection is always the same. Journal 3 wins or moments of luxury you experienced today, even the small ones, because we don't take time to be grateful. And there's so much evidence about a gratitude practice elevates your abundance. I am an abundant magnet aligned with divine timing. Yes. I attract opportunities that honor my luxury and purpose. My brilliance expands without limits. Read these out loud daily for 8 days, starting on 8/8. So, 88888. It's that infinity number. And then we have the journal prompts. What bold financial or lifestyle goal am I ready to call in? Bold, because remember, Leo, the lion, is bold. Where have I been dimming my light and how can I fully shine? Again, Leo, the lion. How can I embody luxury while standing rooted in purpose? What does my highest self look, feel, and live like? That would be visualizing or just scripting out. The manifestation focuses can be luxe, wealth opportunities, visibility in aligned spaces, elevating self worth to match financial worth. And then the crystals and the colors. So the crystal, citrine, pyrite, and clear quartz. Clear quartz, probably everybody's seen that one because it looks like glass, but you have to make sure it's quartz. They also call that an amplifier. That crystal can amplify other crystals. The colors are gold, yellow, and white. You can wear gold, you can wear yellow, you can wear white to be in the space of this pure action of walking into the gate. And an integration step, you can schedule a follow-up Lux magnetism check in 7 days to track aligned actions and synchronicities. If you want to sign up for Notion, is free. And it should work that if you click this, you can make a copy and add it to your Notions. We'll leave it at that. And hopefully you'll click on that Notions and we will follow up in the club.